Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we shall be discussing Jeff Gordon. Now, when it comes to Jeff Gordon, what shall we be talking about? Well, we're going to be taking a look back at his career, some of his best moments, and some of his worst moments, and then we're going to be compiling the stats of Jeff Gordon's 23-year career to see if Jeff Gordon truly is one of the greatest of all times when it comes to the sport that is NASCAR. Now, Jeff Gordon, the driver of the number 24 Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports for all of his 23 years. His first official race was the 1992 finale, in which was Richard Petty's last race, so I guess you could kind of say it was a little bit of passing the torch, because it went from Richard Petty to being Jeff Gordon, who led in the next era for NASCAR, because it went from Richard Petty to Dale Earnhardt to Jeff Gordon to Jimmy Johnson to now whoever it is that's going to dominate the next coming era. I mean, right now, technically, it's Kyle Busch when it comes to the next era, but Jeff Gordon's first race was King Richard Petty's last race, and Jeff Gordon did have a very good rookie season in 1993. I think, if I remember seeing the quote right, there was a quote from Darrell Waltrip saying that he had hit everything but the pace car in that race, which means he DNF'd a lot, and which is understandable because back then in your rookie season, it's really tough on you. You got to go in there and compete with the Intimidator. You got to compete with guys like Rusty Wallace, Darrell Waltrip, Bobby Labonte, Terry Labonte. All of these guys are going to be super competitive. At the time, Tony Stewart was not in the NASCAR Cup Series, so he didn't have to deal. Jeff Gordon didn't have to compete with that, but he still had to compete with all those big names out there. And it was a lot of pressure because he was a hyped up rookie when he first started, and the hype really at the beginning Jeff Gordon didn't believe up to the hype, but after 1993, the hype was real and the hype never stopped up until 2015 when he ultimately retired from the sport that is NASCAR. And oh man, I'm gonna get into that later on. But Jeff Gordon's first official good season, besides the 1993 season where he won his first race, which was the 1993 Winston 600, which is now the Coca-Cola 600, and that was just an emotional win. And considering the fact that you just saw the cameras and you just see Jeff Gordon like pouring his emotion out, like he really means, like he's emotional that he got his first win in such one of the sport's biggest events. It's really, really different compared to that time, because a lot of these guys that were racing back then, you would have never seen this emotion with them. With Dale Earnhardt, you would have just seen him like, oh yeah, this is a great win, congratulations guys. Jeff Gordon poured his heart out and poured emotion out of his face. You could literally see the tears coming out of his eyes as he won his first official NASCAR Cup Series race, and his last official NASCAR Cup Series race happened in 2015. So unfortunately, I guess kind of unfortunately for Jeff Gordon, he didn't win his first year, but he won in his last year. So I guess that's kind of a good thing. But 1993 and 1994 were average seasons for Jeff Gordon. Didn't really get involved with the championship battle up until 1995 when Jeff Gordon picked up his first official NASCAR Winston Cup Series championship. And that'll be the first of his 4 championships that all happened within the space of 6 years. Jeff Gordon won 4 championships within the space of 6 years. Now, obviously that doesn't mean Jimmy Johnson's 5 in a row, but it's still pretty up there because back at this time, the point system was very much different than Winston's Cup. You could win the point system basically by over 300 points. All you had to do is just be very consistent, get top 5s and get top 10s, and that's all you had to do to win the championship. And that's how Jeff Gordon won the 95 championship. 96? Man, not that bad. He did win a couple races in 96, but then we get on into the 2 biggest years when it came to his championship seasons for Jeff Gordon, 1997 and 1998. Let's get the big one out of the way. Let's get 1998 out of the way. The year I was born, 1998. Jeff Gordon had a modern era win record of 13 wins. 13 wins. I say that and I'm just like, he had 13 wins in the season where I was born. It was always destined to be that Jeff Gordon was going to be my favorite driver in NASCAR when I eventually got into the sport in 2006. But 13 wins, and considering that it's the most in the modern era, and Kyle Larson had 10 wins In a 36 race season, and I'm pretty sure in 1998 there was not 36 races. So Jeff Gordon won 13 races within the space of like a shorter schedule compared to Kyle Larson winning 10 races in 36 in a 36 race schedule. And Kyle Larson was very impressive this past season, winning 10 races, but he wasn't Jeff Gordon impressive in 1998. That's why there will be no other driver like Jeff Gordon. There could be a driver that is a prodigy of Jeff Gordon, i.e. William Byron, but there will never, ever, ever, ever be another driver just like Jeff Gordon that has the talent of Jeff Gordon, that had a rivalry like Jeff Gordon with Dale Earnhardt up until 2001, where Dale Earnhardt unfortunately passed away. Back to 1997. Okay season for Jeff Gordon. He got his first official Daytona 500 win in the 1997 Daytona 500. He won it a year before Dale Earnhardt, who took 20 years of trying and 20 years of frustration to win his first ever Daytona 500 in 1998. And so the fact that Jeff Gordon, a young hotshot rookie or a hotshot prospect, got the first win at Daytona 500 before Dale Earnhardt, and he actually also won the first ever Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis before Dale Earnhardt won that one. So Jeff Gordon won the first ever Brickyard 400 in 1994, and then he won his first ever Daytona 500 in 1997, beating the Intimidator to, actually not beating the Intimidator to it. It was a 1-2-3-4 for Hendrick Motorsports in the Daytona 500 in 1997, which is the first time that was ever done. And considering the fact that this young prospect of Jeff Gordon was able to be the one to win that race and finish 1-2-3-4 for Hendrick Motorsports, it just makes the 1997 even better. And I just want to say this, 1998 was definitely probably better because, like I said, it took 20 years of trying and 20 years of frustration for Dale Earnhardt to finally win his first Daytona 500. But then, not only then, he went to go try and back it up in 1999. And in 1999, Jeff Gordon won the Daytona 500 for the second time in 3 years. For the second time in 3 years, Jeff Gordon won the Daytona 500. So a guy that took 20 years of trying to win his first Daytona 500, and the guy that he's battling with wins the second within the space of 3 years. You gotta give it up to Jeff. You had to give it up to Jeff Gordon at the time, because that's really impressive. To win 2 Daytona 500s within the space of 3 years, that's just overall impressive. And I'm pretty sure by this point, he's gained a lot of respect from the drivers that are racing around him. And then it came 2000 and 2001. 2000, Jeff Gordon got, I think, at least 2 wins throughout the season. And he ultimately did not battle for the championship, but then came the fateful year of 2001, the year that we lost Dale Earnhardt. Emotional time for NASCAR. One of the sport's biggest legends, 7-time champion in NASCAR, 76 career race wins, and he passed away in the first race in the Daytona 500, protecting his teammate and protecting his team and protecting his son Dale Earnhardt Jr. when Michael Waltrip ended up going on to win the Daytona 500 that year. And I think it was only right that the guy he had the biggest respect for, that gained his respect throughout the past 10 years that he was racing, which is Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon ended up going on to win the 2001 NASCAR Winston Cup Series championship. And unfortunately for Jeff Gordon, that was his last official championship, because for the next 14 years, Jeff Gordon would continue battling on. And due to the point system being changed in 2004, Jeff Gordon was unable to win. He missed out on 2 championships because the point system had been the Winston Cup point system from before instead of the Cup Series point system that they added in 2004. Jeff Gordon would have won the 2007 championship, and he would have won the 2009 championship based off his consistency when it came to the season. But then came the 2005 Daytona 500. Jeff Gordon's official and final Daytona 500. He is a 3-time Daytona 500 winner. 3-time Daytona 500 winner, 4-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, and he is just one of the overall greatest drivers of all time. And now, the end of his career. 2015 Ford Ecoboost 400, Homestead, Miami Speedway. Went to go see that race personally, and it was emotional for me because this is the first time I've ever gone to go see my driver in a race. It's the first time I've ever actually gone to a NASCAR race in general, and considering the fact that was so much emotion for me because not only is it my first NASCAR race, it's my final driver's NASCAR race, and I get to see him, and I actually got to see, like, I actually got to take a picture of him, like he was, I think he was looking somewhere else, but he was kind of looking at me, and I'm just glad I got that picture of him, and I'm glad I got to get to have this right here. I'll be real quick. I got to get this right here, the Jeff Gordon hat, the number 24 right here, and I do have a Jeff Gordon jacket that I do have in my closet right now, but unfortunately not going to get that. But 2015 was definitely a very emotional year for me because, like I said, I got to see my driver go out and battle for a championship, and unfortunately for him, he did not end up gaining the championship. 2015 ended up finishing third, finished in 6th place in the race. Kyle Busch ended up winning the championship, so I guess that's kind of a good thing for me. But going out and just seeing Jeff Gordon not get the championship in his final race and seeing that this is the last time you would ever see Jeff Gordon race full time in a NASCAR Cup Series season, it honestly hurt because at the time, after that, I didn't really have a favorite driver, and I didn't honestly like Chase Elliott in that 24. I feel like they should at least retire the 24 for at least a season or two, because then if Jeff Gordon had chosen William Byron to drive and come back and drive the number 24, that would have been okay, because that's the prospect that Jeff Gordon chose, and Jeff Gordon is, William Byron is technically Jeff Gordon's prodigy, because William Byron was really learning from Jeff Gordon in the whole Hendrick Motorsports car. And now William Byron's in that 24, and he's starting to make that 24 look like the old 24 that Jeff Gordon was racing. He's slowly getting there. I think William Byron's definitely going to have a better season when it comes to the 2022 Cup Series season, but we'll have to see when it comes to that. But in general, Jeff Gordon's whole stats in his career, in his 23-race career, 805 races, 93 wins, 525 top fives, 325 top fives, 471 top tens, 81 poles, 24,936 laps led, an average start of 10.5, and an average finish of 12.5. Going through those stats, there's no, without a doubt, Jeff Gordon is one of the greatest of all times. In my honest opinion, he's the greatest of all time. But there's also guys like Jimmy Johnson you can put in this conversation, Dale Earnhardt you can put in the conversation, and then of course the king, Richard Petty, you can put in the conversation. But to me, Jeff Gordon is the true of all time, greatest of all time when it comes to sport and NASCAR. Now, when it comes to the second topic we're going to be talking about today, I am announcing that I'll be attending the 2022 Daytona 500. Yes, this will be my first time at Daytona, and it'll be my first time attending the Daytona 500 race. Now, 2020, the Daytona 500 was at full capacity. 2021 was not at full capacity. Actually, no, I think the 2020 Daytona 500 was not actually at full capacity. I think there was nobody in attendance. 2021 was at limited attendance because we're still going on with the pandemic. And then this year's 2022 Daytona 500 is going to be full capacity, and I can't wait. Excited. I got good seats. I'm going to take you guys with me. I'm definitely going to get a lot of photos. I'm going to get a lot of videos for you guys when it comes to that race. And it'll be this coming Sunday, and this video shall be going out on Thursday because I also have something else to announce at the end of the video. But let's get on to this. When it comes to the 2022 Daytona 500, who are the favorites? Well, if you had to ask me, the three favorites in my honest opinion is Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, and Ryan Blaney. Two drive for Penske Fords, and Penske's really good at the super speedway tracks, and one is a three-time Daytona 500 winner. So why would Denny Hamlin not be one of the favorites when it comes to this race? Now, if you had to ask my picks for this race, I gotta have the guy that is so close to being Dale Earnhardt, the guy that is so close of 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Kyle Busch is one of my picks to win this year's Daytona 500. William Byron's another one of my picks because William Byron has definitely won at Daytona before. He won the July race, and I think if he can win the July race, he definitely has the potential of winning the Great American Race and picking up his first ever Daytona 500. But then my final pick for this race It's the guy that should have won it last year. Man, oh man, I feel sorry for this guy, but I'm so glad he has left Penske Racing. Brad Keselowski. A guy that got blocked by his Daytona 500 winning teammate Joey Logano. Keyword, Joey Logano has won the Daytona 500. Brad Keselowski has not won the Daytona 500. And yet Brad Keselowski almost got basically blocked because Joey Logano didn't want him to win. He wanted, Joey Logano wanted himself to win. They're teammates, they're Penske teammates. And you take out your teammate in order for you to not win the race, and then both of you guys not win. Would you rather have a Penske win the race, or would you rather have somebody else win the race? I would rather have a Penske win the race. Brad Keselowski getting his first Daytona 500 win would have been big. It would have been big for him because that would have been his first official Daytona 500 win. But unfortunately for them, Joey Logano threw the block. Michael McDowell ended up getting the win, and it was special for Michael McDowell. But yes, those are my 3 picks for this race. Kyle Busch, William Byron, and Brad Keselowski. But the 3 favorites for this race, I said like before, is Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, and Ryan Blaney. So if I had to give my honest predictions when it comes to this race, I gotta give it. And I think the winner of this race is going to bounce back. He's going to pick up his first Daytona 500 win. I think this year's winner, I think the 2022 Daytona 500 winner will be Brad Keselowski in the number 6 Roush Fenway car. Brad Keselowski is going to look back. He's going to be on that final lap and have the same opportunity like he did last year. And he's going to learn from what happened last year. And he's going to be able to do the smart thing and not make the move a lot earlier than he did before, even though he still got blocked. And this time he's not going to get blocked because I feel like the person that is going to be ahead of Brad Keselowski is going to race him with respect and not do what Joey Logano did last year. And Brad Keselowski will be able to pick up the win. William Byron's going to finish second. Bubba Wallace is going to finish third. And Denny Hamlin, I think, is going to finish fourth. But, anything is possible in the Daytona 500. That's why it's a great American race. Anything is possible. It's a super speedway track. And I'll just be very excited for you guys to see when it comes to this. But that is it for today's video. And now the announcement. I shall be launching a podcast. And the first ever podcast will be this. This video will be an audio version, and this podcast will be on Apple Podcasts, it'll be on Spotify, and it'll be called Down Inside with David Shawn because that is my name. And the first episode I want to make sure is starting with Jeff Gordon. So I want you guys, at the end of the video, if you guys have made it this far along, I want you guys to take a look at the special intro that I'm going to be having coming to each and every podcast I'll be doing every single Thursday for the next couple of weeks. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you guys all later. Peace.